love buying packets of seeds with pictures of beautiful flowers on them, and you dream about the time where these flowers are actually going to be in your garden. The question is, how do you get from the seed packet to the beautiful flowers? That part takes a little bit more work. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to start a seed starting calendar so that you can keep track of when you need to plant these seeds. I'll go over the easy way that I have found to create a seed starting calendar so that you can get the beautiful flowers that you're looking for. So first of all, I want to apologize if there's any dog barking in this video. I do have two Aussie Doodles who are outside right now, and some of the neighbor dogs are also out, and everybody seems to be having a dog party out there. So anyway, forgive me for that real life noise, background noise, if you will. But today I'm going to be showing you how to set a calendar so that you can start seeds indoors. Now I'm going to link a couple of videos down below. The first one is going to be how to set up a growing station if you want to do indoor seed starting, what kind of lights and kind of setup you'll need. The next one also has some supplies you might need, like things like growing trays and things like that. And then I'll be linking one other one where I talk about winter sowing, which is a method where you don't need any of that stuff, and all you need is some empty milk jugs, and you can use nature to help you grow seeds outdoors in winter sowing. But today we're talking about these beautiful seed packets that you pick up at the Home Depot, or maybe you order them online like I do. And you want these flowers, right? That's why you get the seed packets. But how do you get from point A to point B, right? It's a little complex. Now, luckily here in my Fresh and Simple series that I'm doing in 2024, I'm going to be taking you through my process of starting cut flower seeds. I also do a veggie garden. I do some, direct sowing of my veggie seeds, but I don't use the grow lights and all that for my veggie seeds. And sometimes I just buy starts. But this in particular will be for starting flowers. So a couple things you need for today. You need your seeds, right? That's the easy part. And then you're also going to need some sticky notes. I like colorful sticky notes. I think it's the teacher in me. I am a teacher. And so I love sticky notes. They can be the smaller ones in this or this color. And I like to have a variety of colors. And I'll show you why here in a minute. And then you want a beautiful calendar. Now this is one I got from Floret, and unfortunately I can't link it on Amazon here for you, but I do have a couple linked down below that also have some really beautiful pictures of flowers. That's just what I prefer, but you can get whatever you want. Here is actually my calendar from last year, which was Bob Ross, which was also fun, but go find yourself a fun and interesting calendar. Now I prefer to do this with an actual physical wall calendar. You could also do it with some kind of planner or something like this. And if you're tech savvy, you could even do this with like a spreadsheet or a software program. I am not that person. I am this person. Okay, I like things to be very visual. I like them to be very tactile. So this is the method I'm going to show you today. So once you have your calendar and your sticky notes and your seed packets, the only other thing you really need is a pencil and a little bit of time. So get yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or whatever else you want to drink, and give yourself some time to sit down and do this. So what we're trying to figure out is, when do I sow the seeds so that they are ready to plant out in the garden as early as I can, so I can get as many blooms as I can. And the first thing you need to do is figure out what your first frost date is. Pretty easy to Google that and figure it out. I Googled mine for this year, and it didn't change much from last year, and it is the very first day of May. So I'm counting that after that date, there will not be any more frosts in my area. Now I'm in a zone 8B in Eugene, Oregon. So, I mean, it could happen, but I'm betting that, I'm not gonna get any more frost after that. Once you establish your first frost or last frost date, what you're gonna do is count backwards and number your weeks. So if you can kind of see, it's really small, but here's my week of my last frost date. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4 in April, going backwards in time to March. I have 6, 7, 8, 9. And then 10, 11, 12 in February. I don't go back more than 12 weeks because I think that's probably far enough. Now I only have one, you can see one seed that I'm planting that, that far back. and that is a carnation. There are some seeds that take that long to germinate. I know ones like Lisianthus, things like that, but I tried Lisianthus last year and it was really hard to grow. So I don't think I'll be doing that one this year, but I am going to try some carnations. So what you want to do is just number your weeks backwards from your last frost date. Okay, and I just write that in on my calendar, and that would be step 1 of this process. So the next thing I did is I kind of color coded my sticky pads. The reason I did that is because I wanted to know what seed packets I was writing down where. So any blue sticky notes, I know these are seeds that I harvested myself, right, from my yard last year. If they're pink, they're from a company called Johnny's Seed Company, which is great. If they're orange, they're from Baker Creek, and if they're purple, they're from Floret. Now, you don't have to do this step. I just did this step because I kind of wanted to know, you know, what company and what flowers I had ordered. And it also will help me find those seed packets, because the way that I have my seed packets arranged and organized is just by the company. So these are all my Baker Creek, you know, these are all my Floret ones. And so I know if it's on, you know, a whatever orange sticky note, I'm going to look in my Baker Creek ones and find the packet I'm looking for. You could also take all your packets and just organize them by the week that you're sowing them. Some people do it that way too. I just decided to try it this way with my little key of colored sticky notes. So I'll let you know how that turns out. Another thing I would suggest doing is when you are writing down, you're going to start writing down the names of your different seed packets. I would angle your sticky note so that the sticky is on this side rather than on the top. So that way you can write multiple packets, names, and you can just tear them off. So let me kind of show you what I mean here. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take my seed packets, okay, and I'm going to look on the back for the instructions. This one says sow 8 to 10 weeks before last frost. So I know that I can sow these beautiful snapdragons week 8, week 9, or week 10. So what I'm going to do on the sticky note is just write down 8 to 10 snapdragons tall deluxe, or whatever they're called, okay? Let's see if I can find that one. Yep. So here's an example, 8 to 10 snapdragons tall deluxe. And I just went through and wrote down the germination week, what week it should be put on, the name of the flower, and then my color tells me what brand it is, if that matters to you. Okay, if you can't find the information on the back of the seed packet, you could go look at their website and see if you can find information there or online. So once you have those all written down, you're just going to take your sticky notes with the sticky on one side and just kind of slice them up and start to put together the puzzle that is your seed starting calendar. So now what I'm going to do is just take my piles and I kind of sort them into piles. So like 8 to 10 all goes in one section. 4 to 6 was my biggest section. I had a lot of seeds that needed to be sowed, you know, in weeks 4, 5, and 6. So for instance, March is busy. I've got a lot of different things I need to sow. So I did try to move things around, and that's why I like the sticky notes, you guys. I don't like trying to draw, even with a pencil on slick paper and trying to erase it, just seems messy to me. So the sticky notes give you the ability to kind of play around and move things around. So for instance, in any given week, I tried not to do more than 4 different types of seeds I was sowing, because that's a lot. Okay, so this week I've got 4, but let's say something happens that week. My kid gets sick, or I get sick, something happens, right? And I don't get all those sown. Let's say I only get 2 sown that week. Well, I can easily remove those sticky notes and put them onto the next week, right? And that way I'm not erasing and trying to figure all that out. I can just take that one off. Oh, forgot to do that one. Or maybe I ran out of soil mix and I need to go to the store and get more, or whatever. So the sticky note method really works for me because I can play and move things around. It also works for me because, for instance, like 4 to 6 weeks, I have a lot of different things. So I need to put some on week 4, some on week 5, and some on week 6. I could also sow them anytime after that, right? So it just depends on how busy I want to be in any particular week. And again, this is just my plan, right? If it doesn't happen, no one's going to come and arrest me, okay? This is just my plan for what I want to do. So in April, you can see that one of the last things I'm sowing is pumpkins, and I'll probably do some other squash and veggies because those I can do either in the ground or right before the last frost. You can also see after my last frost date, I have some things I could direct sow in the ground. So for instance, I have Love in a Mist. On the packet and online it said direct sow, does not do good with transplanting. Well, then I know that I don't have to waste time and energy and, trying to grow it indoors. I'm just gonna wait and direct sow it in the ground after the risk of the last frost has passed, right? So this is kind of what works for me. And again, this is my second year doing it. And I feel like I'm still learning, right? All of us gardeners or yardners, we're learning, but hopefully this made sense to you as it did to me, as one way that you could go about planning out your seed starting. So if you guys have any questions at all, please go ahead and leave them in the comments. If you have any suggestions for me or any of my other viewers, I would love to read them in the comments. I've been loving some of the comments that I get that have people saying, oh, actually try it this way. I think as gardeners, we're all learning from each other. We all, are trying different things, and you might have a different method that works for you. Maybe you like to put things on a spreadsheet. I don't know, maybe you do it in a different kind of way and you have some tips for me. I just wanted to show you my method today, and hopefully you can take what you can from this and realize that I think when I first learned about this, I thought it was going to be so hard. And what I realized is it's not as hard as some people make it. The sticky notes, the pretty calendar, that's what works for me. So hopefully it was helpful to you today. So thanks so much for hanging out with me today. It's kind of a short video, but I hope that makes sense to you. Again, if you have any questions, please reach out. And if you need me, I'll be hanging out in my yard. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.